I want to say happy birthday to me, to me. It is my birthday week, so I am going to do my annual net worth review. And in the spirit of transparency, I am going to show you how I do it. This is how we do it. For those who are new to personal finance, your net worth is simply the total value of your assets minus your total liabilities. In simpler terms, it is what you own minus what you owe. I conduct this analysis annually to understand fluctuations in my financial position and adjust my goals accordingly. For my safety and privacy, I am using fictitious numbers. I'm leaning in while I say that so y'all can hear me. I am using fictitious numbers, but the assets and liabilities are real. These are real things I own and real things I owe. Just the numbers are made up, fictitious. So let's get started with my assets. My assets. I have income from rental properties. I currently own 3 rental properties. I own a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom condo in Washington, D.C. that I purchased in 2017. I have a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom townhome in Texas that I purchased in 2021. And I have a 4-bedroom, 1-bath home in South Carolina that I inherited in 2024. So as of today, 2 of those 3 properties are occupied. That means I have a tenant in them. And my annual rental income from those properties is about $50,000. Next asset, 401k. My 401k currently has a balance of approximately $150,000, and the annual rate of return is about 14%. That's a good return. A general guideline is to save 3 times your salary by the age of 40 in your retirement account. Transparency wise, I will be 40 in a couple of years, and I am still far behind that goal of 3 times my salary by the age of 40. So, there's that. Retirement accounts. In addition to the 401k, I have a thrift savings plan, which is the retirement savings and investment plan for federal government employees. I'm always happy to see the progress in this account because it shows the impact of compound interest. I only contributed a couple $1,000s to this account when I got my first job as an internal auditor for the U.S. Department of the Navy in 2009. Now, y'all got to take it back to '09 days. This is when T-Pain had new hits coming out like every hour. And during that time, we would wear business casual clothes to the club. So, the big chunky belts, the statement necklaces, like all of that. Picture young, super fly, fresh out of college me, dressed like that. And I said, I'm going to just put a couple $1,000s in this TSP, thrift savings plan, and then let it sit there. I put it into a target date fund, which is pretty standard for a retirement account. And then I opted into the maximum amount to get employer matching. As a result, I was set. Like I did what I could, and then I left the federal government to pursue my MBA. And you cannot continue to contribute after you leave the agency. So at that point, it just sat there growing interest. I did not touch it. It has now been about 14, 15 years. No, she's been 20 years, 25 years almost. And it is now worth $30,000. Now, hear me out. To put about $2,000 into something and then it gets to $30,000, that's a 1,400% return. That's some serious return. And I literally did nothing but stay alive. Thank you, God, for keeping me. So I love it. Like I always get excited. You can see the excitement whenever I talk about my TSP. The next is a savings account. So let's be real, as great as the TSP is doing, my savings is in shambles. My emergency fund is a joke. It's been a problem because I have been trying to pay off debt that I acquired when I was laid off. And I normally recommend having at least 3 to 6 months of savings, minimum 3, but realistically 3. I'm nowhere near that, y'all. I got like 10K in savings. Then vehicles, another asset I have. So I have one vehicle based on the Kelley Blue Book value. It is a 2018 Nissan Murano Platinum. The KBB, Kelley Blue Book value is 20K. So total assets, overall, my total assets equate to $260,000. If you've been keeping up with these fictitious numbers, don't y'all be in my bank account, okay? So now that we've calculated the assets, let's move to liabilities. My liabilities started with credit card debt. I'm about to be humbled when I say this. My total credit card debt is an astounding $60,000 for 6, 0, 3 more zeros. I cannot overstate the amount of debt that I acquired and was burdened with after I was laid off in 2022 while I was on medical leave. So I had to pay medical bills. I had to pay to relocate back to DC from Texas because my job moved me to Texas. And then I had to pay 2 mortgages on my DC and Texas home because my homes were unoccupied. I didn't have a tenant to offset that cost of that mortgage. So I had about 60K built up in savings, $60,000. But then I had to go through all of that with all of those things I just listed, and then actually started to go into debt with credit card debt, which was really frustrating because before all of that happened, I had actually achieved an amazing goal of becoming debt free. And I'm going to get there again. It's just, like I said, humbling to have been in that situation. The next liability are my mortgages. So I have 2 outstanding mortgages, my DC home and my Texas home. My South Carolina home, again, I inherited, it's pulled off. It was completely paid off. I owe $200,000 on my DC condo and $400,000 on my Texas townhome. And although I am renting out both homes, I actually lose money each month on one of those homes, because it's not just like an equal exchange, right? So even though I have a tenant in there are additional expenses that come with it. Property tax in Texas, they do not have income tax, but that property tax will come for you. The property tax is ridiculous, and it goes up each year. It is an insane amount each year. My property management fees, because I do not want to spend my time checking on maintenance, doing routine improvements, things like that, collecting rental income, all of that. I hire property management companies that charge anywhere from 6 to 8%. And actually, one property management company I looked at, they charge 10% of whatever you are charging your tenant. So there's another fee. I mentioned home repairs. So although I have a property management company, when a repair needs to be done to the home, I still have to pay for that, unless it's a repair that was caused by damage from my tenant. Thank God I don't have those issues. Landlord insurance. I have to pay landlord insurance so that if something does happen to one of my tenants, I am covered. I also have to have homeowner insurance on top of landlord insurance, which is just like, okay, all these expenses rack up. And then, of course, there's condo fees because I have a condo and a townhome that has condo fees. So even when the home is unoccupied, again, as is the case for the South Carolina home right now, I still have to pay homeowner costs besides the mortgage. The next liability are student loans. So I have about $65,000 in outstanding student loan debt. And y'all know I am super educated at this point. Like I got the degrees, okay? And I got the debt to go with it. I met with an advisor at Student Loan Planner who helped me review my payoff options because there are a lot of options for how you can pay off your student loans. And they confirmed that I was on the best plan for my situation. Like they look at your income, they look at what your career is. There's a number of factors that go into like what type of payoff plan you can get with student loans. And student loans really don't stress me out that much because I'm like, yeah, I'll pay it when I pay it. Like my credit card and my debt, my mortgage, that's more like of a burden to me than student loans. So for student loans, I pay about $350 a month on my payments for a $65,000 loan. And of course, whenever I have extra money that I'm not throwing towards my credit cards, I put towards my student loans. So it works out. I am going to drop the link to Student Loan Planner in the comments. It is an excellent resource. They do really good work. They are out there doing the Lord's work, and they read all the tax laws, student loan laws. They find all the loopholes for you. My next liability, car loans. So I mentioned that I have a 2018 Nissan Murano. It is not paid off. It is not paid off. I still owe $20,000 on it. It has an interest rate of 4.25%. Sorry, no, it doesn't have an interest rate of 4.2. It has a different interest rate. I can't remember. But the point is, the car loan is still a 20K outstanding balance. And then according to KBB, it's worth 20K. So really my car loan is a wash. The 401K. I used my 401K to take out a personal loan for my second property. So the home I bought in Texas, I still owe 20K on that personal loan. And then I got one more personal loan. Like I said, times got really hard. It is so hard to be this transparent. It feels very uncomfortable, but I'm going to push through it because I want you all to see like real life situations. And I want you to understand it's okay. Like we all have the things we're carrying in this economy. And this is my way of normalizing it for you. I have a personal loan of $25,000. Again, that layoff hit me hard. So my total liabilities are $790,000. It's a rack of liabilities and debt. So now we calculate my net worth. As I mentioned, We are going to take the total assets minus the total liabilities. That will give us the net worth. So my total assets, my assets were 3 rental properties, a 401k, retirement account, a savings account, and a vehicle. All of that totaled $260,000. Fictitious numbers, y'all, fictitious numbers. The total liabilities, my liabilities are credit card debt, mortgages, multiple mortgages, student loans, car loans, 401k loan, and personal loan. Good Lord, that's a lot of debt. And that totaled $790,000. Again, fictitious numbers. Those liabilities are real. I do have mortgages and student loans and a car loan, but the number of 790,000 is fictitious. So when you take the total assets, 260,000 minus the total liability, 790,000, I'm just not, I mean, I'm not broke. I'm okay, but I mean, it doesn't feel good. I'm not where I want to be. That is a deficit of $530,000. As a reminder, fictitious numbers, just meant to illustrate a point. I'm not sharing my actual numbers because, as Tabitha Brown said, that's my business. But it does show you how this all plays out, right? So, like, how close are you to being able to retire? How close are you to being able to take on more debt if you needed to? Like, not that you should take on any more debt if you're in my situation, but just all these small factors that play into it. Another part of what I look at when I do my annual financial review around my birthday time, I look at my credit score. So a credit score is not necessarily related to your net worth, although it does impact your ability to acquire debt. I think it's better to review your credit score at least once quarterly so that you can identify any mistakes and correct them. My debt has increased over the past year. So it started out my credit score this time last year, not started out my credit score. I've been working on it and I got a really great credit score. So my credit score last year was 820 out of 850 points, which is excellent. It means I get the lowest interest rate. It means that I'm pretty much guaranteed to be approved for any credit. My credit score now is at 770. So that is considered very good. Tabitha Brown again, very good. So it is a very good score. It could be better, obviously. In general, in order to get a car, you need to have a score about 620, 650 or higher. In order to get a house, you need to have a score of like 720, 750 or higher. That means you will be approved. That means you'll more than likely get the lowest interest rate available, right? Which works out. Okay, so let's pull it all together. Let's analyze it all together. In short, in summary, in conclusion, I am grateful to have investment properties. I am grateful to have a safe place to live, to have a plan, to be able to pay off debt, to have 2 of my 3 rental properties occupied. I am grateful. Thank you, God, for another year on this earth, and thank you, God, for all the assets I have and the way that I am able to manage them and be a good steward of them. In the same vein, in the same token, I want to do better. So I am working on that debt because I really do not like the idea of having that much debt. It is just way too much. I don't like it. I want to do better. I am encouraging you all to do better, so I should be doing better myself, right? I am on an aggressive plan to cut costs, increase my income, increase my savings, and pay off this debt. So, and then also get my credit score back in the 800s. Not that I really need it. Like, my credit score is perfectly fine as it is, and it's not like I plan on buying another house in the next like year or two. Although, you know, the right price, and I probably would. So I am picking up more roles, more clients, more side hustles and gigs. I'm also scaling back on my expenses. My polo passport, I haven't left the country. I feel so domestic, so domesticated. I'm used to like traveling more, but I've been scaling back on that. I have been a Susie homemaker. I'm eating out less and cooking at home more. And although I'm not where I want to be financially, I am still in a good place. Like I said, I'm blessed. I'm going to keep progressing towards my goals. So all of that, that's how I do my net worth assessment and look at my credit score around my birthday every year. Let me know if this video helped you understand how to calculate your net worth. So I am debating whether or not to create a net worth worksheet. It'll be something simple you can use to be able to do this calculation at home in your own time. And I'm going to do it based on whether or not I think people are interested in it. So let me know in the comments if you want me to create the net worth calculator. It'll just be a worksheet. You do not need to know how to use Excel. You do not need to know like a lot of complex financial terms. It'll be something very simple that you can use to calculate your net worth. Let me know if you want that, and I will design it and launch it for you all. And as always, thank you for watching and have a good day. I'm about to go celebrate my birthday. Peace.